Alright, what's up guys? Not sure if this video was requested at all, but Mr. Pigeon asked me to make it, and so I'm posting it on his channel here. I'm going to be going through all of my Minecraft settings. I've got a completely brand new installation here. This is the first time I've booted up this installation, so all settings are default, and I'm going to be running through with you what I always change it to. So let's head right into the settings over here. After starting up a new installation, you always want to go into the general tab over here, disable the tutorial, disable only allow trusted skins, and sadly we can't turn off filter profanity nowadays anymore. Anyways, moving right on to the video section, this is actually the first thing I should have done. I turn the GUI scale modifier up to -1. Not sure how big the screen is that you guys are playing on, but this is what I definitely prefer the most. Anyways, right off the bat, up here, this is where we're going to change the most, by the way, probably. Hide paper doll, we're going to turn that on. In this brightness area, this was freely available before vibrant visuals. If you have vibrant visuals disabled, I always turned up the brightness to like 100. Always. Keep this at 100. FOV I always change to 89.20. I always have it like that in my recordings. Here inside of this area, you want to turn off view bombing, turn off camera shake, turn off render clouds, and turn off FOV can be altered by gameplay. That's just how I prefer it. This is how I always do it. Now down here is where we get to the vibrant visual settings, and I'll return to that at the end because it is relatively new and some people just prefer to have that actually turned off all the way. Anyways, here in the audio section, I always turn my music all the way down just because like if I'm playing survival by myself, I wouldn't, but in all other situations, I have it turned down. In fact, for my videos, I sometimes just turn the main off completely. Depending on what controls you use, when I play on mobile, I always use the D-pad and tap to interact. That's what's closest to the OG version. I always use that. You'll see that in my videos when I'm playing MCPE. Anyways, I'm not playing on that, and I'm playing on keyboard and mouse, obviously. If one of you guys has auto jump turned on, like just jump off a bridge at that point, don't. This video shall not get a suicide warning in the description, I swear. Anyways, camera sensitivity, I always just leave that at 50, although I do need to mention my mouse sensitivity is quite high in my general settings, and so if your mouse sensitivity is low, I recommend maybe turning this up to at least 60. Spyglass damping, turn that up to 100%. This is where I do some interesting things. So I have my drop item always set to R. It's next to your inventory. It's a little bit further away, so this way you never accidentally drop an item again. Like, the Q is just a bit too close to the WASD for it to make sense. Because, like, how often are you going to be dropping items, right? Then the sprint over here, which is by default set to control, which I find a little difficult to get to all the way down there. It's not really chill. I set my sprint to Q. So instead of having to double tap W or to hold down the control button, I just use my other finger to press Q to automatically sprint. I like it a lot, but I'm also used to playing like that. Let me know what you guys think of that. This is the first time I've actually said I do it like that, but I've been doing it like that for a real long time. Now for the rest, that's basically that. And fun fact, actually, in this accessibility area over here, you can actually change the notification duration, which I sometimes do for my tutorials. These are the notifications that pop up here when you import a texture pack or stuff like that. Global resources, guys, if you don't have any texture packs, I mean, I'll link a few good ones down in the description below. Now, it is true, in like pretty much all my videos, I play with vanilla textures just because I kind of like it that way, but I'm also a big fan of texture packs. I've made a whole bunch myself. I like texture packs, I like texturing. I'll link a few good ones if you don't have any yet. And now for the vibrant visuals, I went ahead and took a picture so I can actually accurately say these to you guys. I did a lot of playing around of what looks best. For me specifically, especially when recording videos for you guys, what looks best, that it doesn't look over the top, but that you also get like the best visuals. Like if you're gonna have vibrant visuals turned on, which I have had for now, then you might as well make full use of it. So starting off over here, recommend texture limit, leave that on. In-game graphics mode switching, you can just have that on turned off. Your deferred render distance, I think this might be based on your device is performance, how high you can set this. I like it at least 16 chunks. Any more than that is kind of like over the top. You're just using a lot of stuff then, but a little lower just feels odd. Now, I would just tick favor visuals, but I like to set it up completely myself. So we have that at custom, this at 16 chunks. Then we can here expand this, of course keep the graphics mode at vibrant visuals because that's what we're going to be using for right now. Show the shadow quality, I like to turn that up to at least high. The clouds, you can do whatever you want with these. I have them turned off anyways. If you are gonna have them turned on, then at least put them at ultra, I guess. So the volumetric fog I've had at ultra for the videos I've recorded so far. The reflections I've had at ultra, and the bloom relatively low at 16. This just made like the vibrant visuals a little less obtrusive. So I did also get some feedback that some people prefer me not use it during recording. And what this bloom, turn down the bloom does, is it makes it all look a little more like vanilla, but you still get all the really nice reflections. The volumetric fog, of course, beautiful, beautiful. I've tried turning this down as well, but it might just be a bug, but you get some really weird things happening with water reflections and stuff, and so I've just found that having these at ultra just doesn't have any of that for right now. So this, if maybe bugs get patched in the future where turning this down doesn't look as bad, then maybe I could consider that. But these are the settings that I'm using. These are also the settings that they have been at when I have recorded videos so far with vibrant visuals turned on. Anyways, those are my settings, I guess. Let me know what you think of those down in the comments below. But for right now, thank you ever so much for watching. And I do, of course, hope to see you all again in the next one. Bye-bye.